Italy is in trouble. In fact, the nation of opera and olive oil is currently grappling with a prolonged economic decline that has spanned over 2 decades. In this video, we're going to take a look at what's making Italy's situation so bad and what can be done about it. There are 4 major problems impacting Italy today. Economic productivity is collapsing. Its native birth rate is plummeting as the population ages. Immigration is out of control. Government red tape and bureaucracy are stifling growth. The combination of these 4 factors spells disaster for Italy if something isn't changed soon. Once a powerful economic force with a robust manufacturing sector and high birth rates, Italy is now facing business closures and a significant brain drain as skilled workers leave. Low economic productivity is a very real concern and negative problem that's impacting Italy's economy, and it's been getting worse and worse. Italy's stagnation in real GDP growth since 2005 has hindered economic progress, especially when compared to other European economies. In fact, Italy's average citizen's income is now 10% less than the average Eurozone country. Italy has a rapidly aging population, its skilled young workers are leaving in droves, it's plagued by regional inequity and red tape and bureaucracy, as well as high taxes are killing once dominant industries. Italy, alongside Germany and France, contributes over half of the European Union's total economic output, forming the second largest operating economy globally. Despite this substantial contribution to Europe's economic output, Italy's economy has a significant black market, accounting for up to a quarter of its total economic output. The nation's economic journey has been marked by big ups and downs and reflects a complex history shaped by post-World War II reconstruction and a period of rapid growth followed by various downtimes and stagnation. Historically, in the past century, Italy was a powerful industrial economy in Europe, although eventually overtaken by other colonial powers in post-war Germany. Post-World War II, the USA's Marshall Plan fueled the country's reconstruction, leading to sustained growth. This period was known as the Italian economic miracle. However, this growth slowed after 1970, with a decline in total factor productivity, or TFP, being a significant factor. Italy then rebounded between 1985 and 1992, tripling its economic output through an export-led industrial boom. Despite intermittent periods of growth since that time, Italy has been grappling with the recurrent economic challenges that have gotten much worse in recent years. The adoption of the euro in 1999 opened many opportunities for growth, but subsequent global crises, an aging population, and a brain drain of young graduates pose significant hurdles. The nation's current economic stagnation of almost 15 years is made much worse by low birth rates, the departure of young skilled workers to other European countries, and an influx of unskilled migrants. Italy's small and less productive businesses struggle to compete with larger European rivals, and a lack of investment in technology is hurting efficiency and making businesses much less profitable. Moreover, the continued existence of a very large black market and persistently high poverty rates, especially in the south of Italy, further complicate Italy's economic landscape. The north-south economic divide further deepens these challenges, with the industrialized north outpacing the agrarian south. Italy's political landscape mirrors broader European concerns, grappling with issues like immigration and cultural identity. The resignation of Prime Minister Mario Draghi and the rise of populist politics adds complexity to Italy's situation. A shrinking workforce coupled with high public debt, 144% of GDP, places a strain on the government's ability to invest in infrastructure and economic growth. Interest payments on debt and social welfare spending for the elderly account for a significant portion of Italy's GDP. Although Italy's mounting debt is sometimes claimed as the main challenge facing the country, that's not actually accurate. A recent report by the Dutch Institute for Public Economics report emphasizes that Italy's debt growth is comparable to other major European countries due to government spending cuts. Italy's debt level, in absolute terms, hasn't grown significantly, citing Belgium and Germany as examples with similar debt. The core problem is the country's stifled productivity, corruption, and strained pension system. Then we get to Italy's disastrously low birth rate of 1.2, far below the replacement rate of 2.2. Italy has its lowest birth rate in 50 years, which is making its economic issues much worse, and it also has the third oldest population in the entire world. The rapid aging population is straining the country's generous social services. Italy's aging population, with over 24% age 60 65 and above strains the pay-as-you-go pension system. If working people aren't paying in, the pension system doesn't remain stable. Italy is at the forefront of a global demographic phenomenon known as the silver tsunami. The country faces a dual demographic challenge with both an aging population and an alarmingly low birth rate. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has warned that Italy is destined to disappear unless significant changes are made. In response to these demographic pressures, Meloni's government recently approved a new initiative called the Pact for the Third Age. This legislative effort aims to address the needs of Italy's growing elderly population and prevent their marginalization. Meloni emphasized the importance of caring for the elderly, stating that they represent the heart of society, embodying a wealth of values, traditions, and wisdom. The approved pact essentially builds upon measures initiated by the previous administration led by Prime Minister Mario Draghi. Crucially, the legislation has been incorporated into the European Union Recovery Fund program, ensuring its enactment. The overhaul is seen as a recognition that long-term care is a welfare policy, streamlining government healthcare and social services while involving both local and national governments in the expanding field of long-term care. A key aspect of the new law seeks to keep aging Italians in their homes rather than in institutions, offering a choice between unconditional cash benefits or larger in-kind contributions for public care. However, concerns have been raised about the lack of sufficient funding for the program. Despite efforts to address the challenges posed by an aging population, so far significant progress has not been made. Then we get to Italy's immigration crisis, which is getting worse as record numbers of illegal immigrants come in every year. Italy had over 155,000 illegal immigrants enter in 2023, up more than 50% from the year before. In August of last year, Italy experienced its highest monthly landings, with 25,673 individuals arriving on its shores during that month alone, attributed to economic and political instability in Tunisia. The Italian government believes Russian Wagner mercenaries in West Africa, funded by Moscow, have intentionally worsened migration flows by destabilizing the region and flooding Italy with migrants. Despite efforts by the Tunisian Coast Guard to intercept migrants, their success has been limited. The impact of migration is expected to ease in 2024 following a new EU pact on migration and asylum, aiming for fairer distribution of asylum seekers and comprehensive management of the challenge. Over the past decade, Italy has faced a significant influx of migrants, with over 1 million arrivals since 2013 and a death toll exceeding 28,000 due to the dangerous crossings at sea, especially people from nations like Libya and Tunisia. While the influx of migrants is seen by some as a potential remedy for the workforce shortage, it sparks debates about cultural identity and economic implications. The National Recovery and Resilience Plan, or NRRP, aims to address regional disparities, but effective implementation remains a challenge. Next, we come to the red tape disaster that's tying Italy in knots. Italy's poor productivity is influenced by cumbersome labor regulations, judicial inefficiencies, and an inefficient public sector that hampers business development. Northern Italy, with its modern industries, contrasts starkly with the less developed and subsidized agricultural economies of the south. This divide contributes to higher public sector efficiency in the north, leading to greater productivity. In September 2022, Giorgia Meloni's government initiated economic reforms to address fiscal challenges. Efforts include reducing the welfare state, increasing incentives for childbirth, and encouraging workforce participation. Despite these reforms, Italy continues to struggle and face serious birth rate challenges. So what lies ahead for Italy this coming year? Italy faces a challenging economic landscape in 2024 as projected by the latest forecast from the Bank of Italy. The country anticipates a further slowdown in economic growth, with GDP expected to decrease to 0.6% from 0.7% in 2023. Inflation, a key concern impacting consumers, is projected to rise above the 2% threshold, with core inflation at over 3% excluding energy and food. The construction sector, a vital component of Italy's economy, experienced a sharp decline in investment in 2023, and global data predicts an additional 8.6% decrease in 2024. This decline is coupled with falling employment rates, permits, and residential permits. Analysts from Fitch Solutions forecast a slowdown in consumer spending and investment, predicting GDP growth to reach 0.3%, below the earlier estimate of 0.8%. The slowing economy leads to tightened financial conditions, and Fitch Solutions suggests the European Central Bank will maintain a 4% interest rate until October. The labor market is also expected to soften, with Fitch Solutions projecting unemployment to rise to 8.5% by the end of 2024, up from 7.6% in the second quarter of 2023. Falling Falling employment levels and sluggish wage growth will likely impact consumers, putting additional pressure on spending. Rising mortgage rates, such as the increase from 3% to 4.3% in August 2023, further contribute to reduced disposable income for consumers. On the global stage, Italy faces the responsibility of presiding over the G7 group of nations, inheriting the role from Japan. This leadership transition occurs amid ongoing national challenges, including slow GDP growth, an immigration crisis, and a bad labor market. Against the backdrop of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the Israel-Gaza war, Italy's global leadership role becomes even more challenging. Can Italy overcome its current challenges and experience another period of growth? The answers are complex, influenced by an aging population, uncompetitive industries, and limited control over its currency situation. In terms of productivity and cutting the overly bureaucratic state control, there needs to be a major simplification and pro-business strategy put in place. German economist Max Krahe suggests improving administrative efficiency, implementing industrial policy, and investing in education and healthcare, railroads, and digital infrastructure to boost Italy's economy. The concluding segment raises questions about Italy's future, pondering whether the government should reform with or without the assistance of the EU. The possibility of the EU playing a role in pro-growth investments, given Italy's relatively high borrowing costs, is another idea worth exploring. In terms of the rapidly aging population and stressed workforce, Meloni's administration has faced delays in implementing programs aimed at supporting working mothers and boosting birth rates. Italian demographers such as Alessandro Rossina emphasize the urgency of encouraging young families and working women to have children. Without such measures, Italy risks remaining a country with an increasingly older population. The demographic challenges faced by Italy are viewed as a test for the nation and a potential laboratory for other Western countries with aging populations. To counter the demographic time bomb, some regions in Italy are exploring strategies to extend the period in which older people can work and contribute to society. Initiatives like intergenerational centers, where children interact with older residents, are seen as a step toward engaging and involving seniors, making them feel valued and useful in a rapidly changing demographic landscape. In terms of immigration, Meloni's administration needs to live up to its promises before being elected and be much stricter on incoming illegal immigrants and migrant claims. Italy needs more skilled workers and a higher birth rate, but it can't currently afford a continuing influx of unskilled migrants who depend on its social programs. The deep-rooted economic problems in Italy are likely to persist, making it a challenging economy to revive in the short term. In conclusion, Italy faces a multifaceted economic challenge marked by stagnant growth, low productivity, a geographical divide between the North and South, and demographic issues with the aging population. While reform efforts are underway, the complexity of the problem suggests that a sustainable turnaround for Italy will require more time and comprehensive strategies. Meloni's government and the 20 regional municipal governments of Italy need to get much more serious about dealing with the crisis faced by the country and turning things around. Italy deserves the best, but right now its leaders aren't taking nearly enough concerted action to address the challenges it faces. If you like this video and want to learn more about what's really going on around the world, check out this video here. And if this video brought value to you today, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. Thanks for watching.